Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
Video.
I absolutely hate video recordings, but I think this is pretty important. I feel like I need to share this information with you guys. It's much easier than texting everybody or emailing everybody individually, which would take forever. So I'm going to go ahead and take the opportunity and do a video. I want to tell you a little story about Patrick, our 15-year-old son. He's fine. He's fine. Don't freak out. He's okay. Early last fall, he was talking to us, and I noticed that he was missing some noises or some words. Me and Jeff were like, oh, okay. We thought he was making up because we just recently had been, teasing each other about deaf school and noises and, having a good time and yelling, and that popped up during his comments. So we noticed that he was missing some words, and we thought, we didn't think anything of it. We didn't take it seriously. Time went on a little bit, and the two of us went out shopping, which was rare. We need to go shopping for clothes. Patrick needs some clothes, so he admitted to me, and he said, you remember how I was missing some words and some background noises? And I said, yeah. And he said, well, do you remember in 7th grade? Understand that now he's in 10th grade. In 7th grade, it was near the summer of his 7th grade year going into 8th grade. His teacher took a tuning fork and used the tuning fork. You know how tuning forks work. They vibrate them when you hit them against something. And I said, yeah, okay. And Patrick said, well, I failed that test. Me and one other student. We failed it. And I was like, okay. What does that mean? That's okay. And Patrick said to me, I think that my hearing's going down. Okay. So we were driving and shopping, but I kept that in the back of my mind. I held it back there. And then last November, Patrick was talking, and it was a serious talk. He said, I think my hearing has definitely gone down. I'm losing some hearing. I need a hearing test. And I was kind of taken aback. And I remembered the story that he told me about the tuning fork, and I remember some other things that we had noticed. So Jeff and I looked at each other, and we agreed. We said, okay. Sorry that we had teased him about it, or we didn't take him seriously last fall when he had mentioned something, and now we could see that he meant it. I said, can you give me another example? And Patrick said, sure, and he listed off a whole slew of things. And we said, you mean that this has been going on since 7th grade? And he said, no, it really kind of started near the summer of 8th grade. That is when it started, the summer right before 8th grade. I was in 7th grade, but it was that summer. It was pretty simple. And then in 8th grade, kind of the same things. 9th grade, which was last year for him, it got a little bit more noticeable. And then this past fall, it was very noticeable. He currently has a girlfriend, and him and his girlfriend would go out to the movie theater, and Patrick didn't really enjoy the movie while they were out because he noticed that he was missing so many words and so much background noise. He preferred to be at home watching the movie with captions so that he could understand it completely, so that he felt completely included, so he didn't miss anything on the movie. And I said, he has been reading the captions have been on our TV. He's been watching movies and reading captions since he was 4. And Patrick said, yeah, I thought that was normal. I thought it was normal to have a little bit of a hearing loss because my parents are deaf, which really hit me. I felt a little bit lousy. I didn't notice. I mean, Patrick's involved in band, heavily involved in band. He practices every day. During the summer, they practice every day. He gets home from practice, and he'll complain about being hot and rough, and practice was tough, but he enjoyed it. He'll go on and on and on about band. And he's taught us a few things. He's taught us the B-flat note. He's taught us about the treble clef. And we're like, oh, okay. I mean, we didn't really fully understand, but we paid attention because he was so excited. So obviously there was no struggle with hearing. Nothing was there. There was no hearing loss. So Patrick said, I noticed that it's getting worse. And last fall, I really noticed it. So we wanted to find out how much of a hearing loss he had. Okay. So we called, made an appointment, we checked with insurance, made sure that everything was covered. It went okay. And then last week, Wednesday, was the first audiologist appointment. The two of us were driving around. I was a little bit lost, which is nothing new for me. We're driving around. We finally found the office where we needed to go in. We arrived, and I was still thinking, like, okay, we'll see what happens. So we go in, we sit down. We both explain to the audiologist about what had happened. And when it was time for him to go into the booth to get his audiologist test, before they used to have these really big headphones and you had to click a buzzer, but now it's different. They have this really thin kind of headband that goes on your head, and I don't really know. So I moved my chair so that I could see the computer. And the computer's got a screen with O's and X's, which show where a hearing loss is. 0 decibels is hearing, means you can hear completely. 10 decibels is minor loss. 20 decibels, it becomes, at 20 decibels, it becomes a mild hearing loss. And then it goes all the way down to the bottom. I am deaf, completely deaf. I'm at the very last line where there's no heartbeat. I'm flat-lined. Jeff, his mother had the German measles while she was pregnant with Jeff. So Jeff doesn't really count. He has no deaf or hard of hearing in his family. Neither of us, actually. My family has no deaf. I'm the only deaf one in my family. I was born deaf. Why? I don't know. Nobody else in my family is deaf. I'm special. Anyway, so it was time to do the test, and they turned on the volume, loud, high, soft, a variation of sounds. And I kept my face blank, and I was just watching. But in the back of my mind, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I didn't look at Patrick. I couldn't look at him. So I just looked over to check, and I said, what the hell, in my mind. And I was just wondering. She changed the volume, and you could see the hearing loss, and it's going low, and then it'd come up, and it looked like about in the 30s. I was like, okay. Once everything got done, the audiologist sat down, and I sat across from her, and Patrick sat next to her. And the audiologist wrote down some things and explained a few things, and he has between a 25 to 35 decibel hearing loss. And she said, you need hearing aids, the audiologist did. There were 4 different examples. The last example said, no, that one's too weak for you. You're going to need one of these 3. I would suggest either one of these 2. The first one, it's a really expensive one, or a really fancy one. You don't need that one. The last one's pretty weak. And I was stunned. When Patrick was born, we got a hearing test within 24 hours. He failed because he had too much fluid in his ears. So the doctor said, go ahead and bring him home, make sure he's well, all the fluid is out, and then bring him back. Okay, sure. A couple weeks later, he was well. We brought him back to the doctor. He struggled a little bit for the first few minutes, and then he passed. So we thought, okay, that means he's not deaf. You know, when deaf parents have children that are born deaf, they think, yes, we're the same. It's so easy. We know what to do. We know where the deaf schools are. That's super exciting because they'll be involved in the deaf community. When you have hearing kids, it's easy. When hearing parents have hearing kids, it's easy. I mean, but when there's no deaf or hard of hearing. So I stopped the audiologist, and I said, whoa. I'm stunned. I need some time to process this, to think through it. I feel like everything's happened so fast, and I am not ready. And I looked at Patrick, and Patrick was smiling. And Patrick said, I knew. The decibel, I didn't know exactly the decibels, but I knew. And now I am ready for hearing aid. And I looked at him, I'm like, you're fine? I mean, you don't feel heartbroken or bothered or like, oh shit, nothing? And Patrick said, no. I knew. I've had time to prepare myself. I've already have a plan. I put it down. I figured I had a hearing loss. And I knew that some things would have to change. Band, I'm going to have to talk with the director and discuss how we can accommodate things, how things can be accommodated. And I was shocked. He's prepared. He's fine. And I've asked him over and over, are you serious? And he says, yeah, Mom, I am fine. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. He was reassuring me, not the other way around. It's very interesting to me. So we talked about it, and the audiologist left to give us some time. We were the last patients of the day anyway, so we discussed it. I'm like, okay. So we called the audiologist back in, and we said thank you, and the audiologist said, here's the hearing aids that I suggest, and she put down 2 BTEs behind the ear, BTEs. I said, 2? Not 1? She said, no, 2. And I thought, is she trying to take advantage of our money or what? So I said, why? And she said, I think it'll be best for balance, and both ears are the same, 25 to 35. The weakest is at 35. Understand that at 40 decibels? 40 or 45. I think it's 45. 45 decibels, it's considered moderate. That's a moderate hearing loss. Patrick's already at 35. So 35 to 45, I mean, he's close to a moderate. I was just stunned. So we went on, we discussed it. We got some really good feedback. I asked a lot of questions. And I really wanted to just show that we were involved. I asked Patrick, do you have any questions, Do you have feedback? The feedback there was really good. Once we were all done with that, the 2 of us were walking, and I was just mulling things over. And I was like, that means I can introduce him as my hard of hearing son. I know you're the same person. I we're going to have to accommodate, change some things. But Patrick's like, oh, I'm excited I get some new hearing aids. He should get them Wednesday. Oh, this Wednesday, actually. It's past midnight on Monday. But anyway, so we sat in the car, and he was texting. I was like, okay, and I'm driving. And we arrived, and I was like, why don't we go ahead and get something to eat? Okay, you pick. So him and I went out, and we sat down, and we discussed for a very long time. We had a really long discussion about what to do with all these things. And I said, expect that some of your friends might be a little bit unsure of what to do. Just a warning. Your friends, I think your friends will be fine. They're good friends. But just FYI, you never know. So don't take it personally. It just means that they weren't your good friends in the first place. There are many millions of friends many millions of people that you could be friends with. Don't worry about that. So we discussed it, and he's fine. I asked if we could take him to go get hearing aids. So we're going this Wednesday. And I was just stunned, and it's been on my mind, and I've been mulling it over. And he keeps telling me, I'm okay. And when I see him with actual hearing aids, I think it's really going to hit me. I think that I will, ironically, be a little bit saddened. Because I thought he'd be hearing forever. My daughter Alex, she's hearing. But now, okay, I guess there's a possibility that it could happen to Alex too. So I talked to Alex, and I said to her, what about background noise? Is it normal? And we talked about Patrick, and we found out that there's nothing wrong. We won't need surgery. It's not developmental. It's just normal. So she asked what happened. I said, I don't know.
Yep.
Growing up, I never wondered, like, why am I deaf? It's been part of me since birth. I didn't have the need to investigate or research or figure out why. But about 2 years ago, I was a little bit curious. And now, with Patrick and Alex, I don't know. And I was like, wait a minute. I want to know why I'm deaf. So I talked to the audiologist to see if they have genetics. They have a genetics office in the building downstairs. I was like, oh, perfect. I'd like to do that. So we're going to test Patrick first. And then once Patrick gets done, it'll be my turn. I think my appointment is next week. Just to discuss, to see what the tests involve, what it looks like. Is it blood work? Is it, I don't know what it entails. So it'll be about 3 months later, and there'll be a whole list of things, and then that should take about 3 months, and we'll get the results of that. I said, okay, yeah, put the two of us down, Patrick and I. So we have an appointment February 20th. I'm very curious to find out why I'm deaf. And if it got passed down because of me onto Patrick, I think that'll be interesting. But I just wanted to let you know, and Patrick right now, he's hard of hearing. If you yell and you're puzzled or you think he's ignoring you or whatever, he's not. He can't hear. Hearing aids, I tried to explain to him, hearing aids for him will bring him back up to like a hearing person again. If I use hearing aids, will it bring me up to like the hearing person? No. My situation is totally different. I'm too deaf. Like, deaf as a doornail. So, but with his hearing aids, he'll have the opportunity to bring him back up to regular hearing age. He might need an interpreter for audience or big presentations or pep rallies, assemblies. But we know what to do. We can take advantage of that. But Patrick's the same, and he keeps saying he's fine, which I think is cool. He's hard of hearing. Okay. I just wanted to let you know.